What if you woke up from a coma after a brutal car crash, and the first thing you heard was your own wife laughing with her lover in the hospital hallway, planning how to spend your life insurance money while you were still hooked up to machines? She thought I was going to die. She thought she was free. What she didn't know was that I could hear every single word. This is the story of how my wife's betrayal while I was fighting for my life led to the most unexpected twist of all. My name is Daniel Hayes. I'm 34 years old. I live in a quiet neighborhood just outside Toronto, Canada. I work, or I used to work, as a senior project manager for a mid-sized construction company. My wife, Rachel, is 32. She's a marketing coordinator at a big advertising agency downtown. We've been married for 7 years. We weren't perfect, but I thought we were solid. We had the house with the big backyard, the 2 dogs, the joint bank account, and the kind of life people scroll past on Instagram and say, goals. I loved her. I really did. She was the one who made me laugh after long days on site, the one who remembered how I like my coffee, the one who held me when my dad passed away 2 years ago. Then came the accident. It was a rainy Thursday evening in late March. I was driving home from a late meeting when a semi-truck ran a red light and slammed into the driver's side of my SUV. The doctors later told me I was clinically dead for almost 2 minutes on the side of the road. They airlifted me to Sunnybrook Hospital. Multiple broken bones, collapsed lung, severe concussion, internal bleeding. They put me in a medically induced coma to give my body a chance to heal. Rachel was listed as my emergency contact. She arrived at the hospital within 40 minutes, crying in the waiting room, holding my hand when they let her in, telling the nurses how much she loved me. At least that's what they told me later. I don't remember any of that. What I do remember is the darkness. And the voices. I was floating somewhere between sleep and awake, that strange in-between place where you can hear things but can't move or speak. The doctors said it was possible I would have fragments of awareness. They had no idea how right they were. The first clear thing I heard was Rachel's voice, soft and familiar, right beside my bed. "He's not waking up anytime soon, is he?" The doctor said it could be weeks, or never. Another voice answered, a man's voice I didn't recognize at first. Deep, calm, a little too confident. "Take it easy, we've waited this long. A few more weeks won't kill us. Once the insurance pays out and the house sells, we'll be set. You'll finally be free." Rachel laughed quietly. Not the laugh I knew. This one was colder. "I know. It's just, I feel bad sometimes. He's a good guy. But I've been stuck for years. This accident, it's like the universe finally gave me an out." The man, I later learned his name was Victor, her boss at the agency, kissed her. I could hear it. The soft sound of lips, the way she sighed. "I love you," he said. "We'll make this look natural. You play the devastated wife. I'll stay in the background. Once he's gone, we wait 6 months and start fresh." I lay there, unable to move, unable to scream, listening to my wife plan my funeral while the machines beeped steadily beside me. That was day 4 of the coma. Over the next 10 days, I heard everything. Rachel came every morning and evening like the perfect wife. She cried in front of the nurses, posted emotional updates on Facebook with pictures of us from happier times, and accepted sympathy flowers and casseroles from neighbors. But the moment the door closed and it was just her and Victor, the mask came off. They talked about money, my life insurance policy worth $1.2 million, the house we owned together, my 401k, even the dogs. They talked about how they would sell everything and move to Vancouver where no one knew them. They talked about how relieved she would be when it was finally over. One night Victor even joked, "If he somehow wakes up, we'll just say it was the pain meds making him paranoid." Rachel laughed again. That same cold laugh. I wanted to scream. I wanted to rip the tubes out of my arms and confront them right there. But my body wouldn't move. All I could do was listen. And remember, on day 12, something changed. The doctors started reducing the sedation. My brain was healing faster than they expected. I still couldn't open my eyes or speak, but my hearing became sharper. I started recognizing the rhythm of the hospital, the nurses' footsteps, the beeping of different machines, the way Rachel's heels clicked when she walked down the hallway. That was the night I heard the real twist coming. Rachel and Victor were standing just outside my room. The door was slightly open. Victor whispered, "I already talked to the lawyer. If he dies, you get everything as the surviving spouse. If he somehow wakes up, we'll have to speed things up. Maybe a little accident at home during recovery." Rachel was quiet for a second. Then she said the words that changed everything. "I don't want to wait anymore. If he wakes up, we'll make it look like he's unstable from the brain injury. No one will believe him anyway." I felt something inside me snap. Not fear, not sadness. Pure, ice-cold clarity. They thought I was finished. They thought they had won. But I was waking up. And when I did, I wasn't going to be the broken husband they expected. I was going to be the man who had heard every single betrayal, and who now had 8 days of recorded proof stored safely in the cloud through a hidden app on my phone that the nurses had left charging beside my bed. The game had just begun. And this time, I was the one holding all the cards. The moment I decided to fight, everything inside me changed. I stopped being the unconscious husband lying helpless in a hospital bed. I became a man who was listening, remembering, and planning, even while my body was still trapped. On day 14, the doctors began bringing me out of the coma more aggressively. The sedation was reduced significantly. My brain was healing faster than they had predicted. I could feel my fingers twitching. I could hear the nurses celebrating small victories around my bed. But I kept my eyes closed longer than I needed to. I needed more information. Rachel came every day like clockwork. In front of the medical staff, she was the picture of a devoted wife, holding my hand, kissing my forehead, crying softly when the doctor gave updates. She even brought my favorite hoodie from home and draped it over the chair so it would smell like me when I woke up. The nurses loved her. They told her she was an inspiration. The second the door closed and Victor arrived, he always came after visiting hours, pretending to be a concerned colleague. The mask dropped completely. I heard them planning the next steps with terrifying calmness. Victor's voice was low and confident. "If he wakes up with memory issues or confusion, we push for a psychological evaluation. We get him declared temporarily incompetent. You become his medical power of attorney. Then we control everything." Rachel replied softly, almost lovingly. "I already told his mother he's been stressed at work lately. If he starts talking about hearing voices or anything strange, they'll think it's brain damage from the accident. No one will believe him." They kissed again. I could hear the sound clearly, the wet, intimate sound that used to be mine. That night, while they thought I was still deeply unconscious, I did the only thing I could do. I focused every ounce of strength I had on my right hand, the one closest to the phone the nurses had left charging on the bedside table. Slowly, painfully, I moved my fingers until I could feel the screen. I had set up a secret voice recording app months earlier, back when I first started suspecting Rachel was distant. I never thought I'd need it like this. With trembling fingers, I pressed record and left it running every time they were in the room. I captured everything. Their laughter, their plans to sell the house, their discussion about how much the life insurance would pay out, Victor joking about helping Daniel have one last peaceful night if I woke up too soon. Every single word burned itself into my memory. On day 17, I finally opened my eyes. The room was dim. Rachel was sitting beside the bed scrolling on her phone. When she saw my eyes open, she gasped, "A perfect performance," and started crying immediately. "Daniel, oh my God, you're awake." "Nurse, he's awake." Doctors and nurses rushed in. Lights were turned on. Questions were asked. I answered slowly, my voice raspy from the breathing tube they had removed earlier that day. I played the part of the confused, grateful husband perfectly. I smiled weakly at Rachel. I squeezed her hand when she cried. I told the doctor I didn't remember much about the accident, but inside I was ice cold. I spent the next 5 days in the hospital, recovering. Rachel stayed by my side almost constantly, playing the loving wife while texting Victor updates under the table. I pretended to sleep a lot. I let her think I was still weak and disoriented. Every night when she left, I used the hospital Wi-Fi to upload the recordings to a secure cloud drive that only I could access. I also started messaging my best friend, Liam, a lawyer who specialized in family law and divorce. I sent him the first recordings with one simple text. "I need your help. My wife is trying to kill me." Liam's reply was immediate. "Stay calm. Quick, document everything. I'm already working on it." On day 23, they finally let me go home. Rachel drove me back to our house in her car. She had decorated the living room with welcome home balloons and a big "Get Well Soon" banner. The dogs were excited to see me. She had even cooked my favorite meal, roast chicken with garlic mashed potatoes. She helped me to the couch, fluffed the pillows, and kissed my cheek. "I'm so glad you're home, baby. We're going to get through this together." I looked at her and smiled the same smile I used to give her every morning for 7 years. "I know we will." That night, while she was in the shower, I limped slowly around the house with my phone recording. I found Victor's toothbrush in the guest bathroom, his cologne in the drawer, a pair of his socks under our bed. I took photos of everything. The next morning, Rachel went back to work for a few hours to catch up on projects. The moment her car left the driveway, Liam arrived. We sat at the kitchen table while I played him the recordings. His face grew darker with every minute. "Daniel, this is attempted murder conspiracy. This is divorce nuclear option. We can destroy her." I shook my head slowly. "I don't want to destroy her yet. I want her to feel exactly what I felt lying in that hospital bed, helpless, betrayed, and completely unaware that the person she trusts most is about to take everything away." Liam smiled grimly. "Then we do it slow. We build the case. We let her think she's winning. And when she's at her most confident, we drop the hammer." Over the next 3 weeks, I played the perfect recovering husband. I thanked Rachel for everything she did. I told her how much I loved her. I let her believe I was still weak and dependent. Meanwhile, I gathered more evidence. I installed hidden cameras in the living room and bedroom, legal in Canada for personal protection. I tracked her phone location through the Find My app we still shared. I saw how often she went to Victor's apartment after working late. Every single night when she thought I was asleep, I lay awake listening to her whisper on the phone with Victor in the bathroom. "We just need to be patient. He's still recovering. The doctors said he might have permanent brain fog. If we push the divorce now, it'll look suspicious. Let him get a little better first." Victor's reply was always the same. "Soon, baby. Soon you'll be mine completely." The tension inside me grew every single day. I wanted to scream at her. I wanted to throw her out of the house. I wanted to show her the recordings and watch her face crumble. But I didn't. Because the sweetest revenge isn't loud. It's quiet. It's patient. It's letting someone believe they have already won, right before you take everything from them. By the end of June, I was strong enough to walk without a cane. Rachel started talking about our future again, vacations we would take, renovations to the house, even trying for a baby now that we've been given a second chance. I smiled and nodded at every word. Inside, I was counting down the days. Liam had prepared the divorce papers. The evidence folder was now over 200 pages thick. The hidden cameras had captured Rachel and Victor having sex in our marital bed while I was at physiotherapy. The trap was set. All I needed was the perfect moment. And that moment came on a beautiful Saturday afternoon in early July. Rachel had planned a welcome back to life barbecue for our friends and family. She invited everyone, our neighbors, colleagues, even Victor as my supportive boss. She wanted to show the world what a strong, loving couple we were. I stood in the backyard, smiling, holding a beer, watching her laugh and play the perfect hostess. She had no idea. She had no idea that every single guest would soon receive a private link. She had no idea that in less than 48 hours, their perfect little affair would be exposed to everyone they knew. She had no idea that the man she thought was broken and dying was about to become the architect of her complete destruction. And the most beautiful part? She still thought she was the one in control. The barbecue was perfect, at least on the surface. Rachel had outdone herself. The backyard looked like something from a lifestyle magazine. String lights hanging across the fence, fresh flowers on every table, the grill smoking with steaks and burgers, music playing softly in the background. Our neighbors, colleagues, and a few close friends were all there, laughing and chatting. Everyone kept telling Rachel how amazing she was for holding everything together while I recovered. She glowed under the praise. She wore the light blue sundress I bought her for our anniversary last year. She kept touching my arm, calling me baby, in front of everyone, and telling stories about how strong I was, how I had fought to come back to her. I smiled. I nodded. I played the grateful husband perfectly. Victor was there too, of course. He arrived late, looking polished in a casual button-down shirt, carrying a bottle of expensive wine for the hero of the day. He shook my hand firmly, looked me straight in the eyes, and said with a warm smile, "So glad to see you back on your feet, Daniel. Rachel's been an absolute rock through all of this." I held his gaze a second longer than necessary. "Thanks, Victor. I really couldn't have done it without her." Rachel beamed. Inside, I was counting every single lie. Liam had helped me prepare everything. The hidden cameras in the house were still rolling. The cloud folder now contained over 40 audio recordings, dozens of photos, and timestamps proving Victor had been in our home multiple times while I was in the hospital. We also had bank records showing Rachel had already started moving small amounts of money into a separate account she thought I didn't know about. But I waited. I wanted the moment to be perfect. The party went on until late. As people started leaving, Rachel hugged everyone goodbye, wiping fake tears from her eyes and saying how blessed we were to have such wonderful friends. When the last guest left, she turned to me with that soft, loving smile I used to believe was real. "Today was perfect, wasn't it? I'm so proud of us." I nodded slowly. "Yeah, it really was." That night, after she fell asleep, I did what I had been planning for weeks. I sat at the kitchen table with my laptop and created a private Google Drive link. Inside it, I organized everything neatly. Folder 1, audio recordings from the hospital, labeled by date and time. Folder 2, photos and videos from the hidden cameras at home. Folder 3, bank statements and messages showing her planning to leave. Folder 4, a short 8-minute video I recorded myself that afternoon, calm and clear, explaining everything. I titled the main folder, "The Truth About Rachel and Victor, for those who deserve to know." Then I scheduled the link to be sent automatically at 9 a.m. the next morning to a carefully chosen list. All our close friends, our neighbors, both our families, including her parents, everyone at her workplace, including HR, my own colleagues, and Victor's wife. Yes, he was married too. I had discovered that weeks earlier. I didn't send it to the police yet. I wanted them to feel the social destruction first. I went to bed beside Rachel, listening to her soft breathing, and for the first time since the accident, I slept deeply. The storm hit at exactly 9:07 a.m. My phone started exploding with notifications. Messages, calls, missed calls, texts with nothing but question marks and shocked emojis. Rachel's phone was blowing up even louder. She woke up confused, then panicked as she opened the messages. "Daniel, what is this? What did you do?" I was already sitting up in bed, completely calm. "I did what you tried to do to me while I was in the coma. I let everyone hear the truth." She scrolled frantically through the drive, her face going pale as she heard her own voice planning my death, laughing about the insurance money, kissing Victor in our bedroom. Her hands started shaking so badly she dropped the phone. You recorded us? Every word, every kiss, every plan to kill me and run away with him." She looked at me like she was seeing a stranger. "You were supposed to die," she whispered. "You weren't supposed to hear any of that." The words hung in the air between us. I stood up slowly, still limping a little from the accident, but my voice was steady. "You stood next to my hospital bed and planned my funeral while I was fighting for my life. You laughed with your lover about how relieved you'd be when I was gone. You thought I was weak. You thought I was finished." I walked to the bedroom door and looked back at her. "Now everyone knows exactly who you are." The next 48 hours were pure chaos. Rachel's mother called screaming. Her father sent a message saying he was ashamed of her. Her boss called an emergency meeting. She was placed on immediate administrative leave pending investigation. Victor's wife filed for divorce the same day and tagged Rachel in a public Facebook post calling her a homewrecker. Our group chat with friends went silent, then filled with people unfriending her one by one. Neighbors stopped waving when they saw her car. Even the dogs seemed to sense something was wrong. They stayed closer to me than to her. Rachel tried everything. She cried. She begged. She blamed the stress of my accident. She said Victor manipulated her. She promised it was a one-time mistake and that she still loved me. I let her talk until she ran out of words. Then I handed her the divorce papers Liam had prepared. You have 30 days to move out. The house is in both our names, but after what you did, I'm willing to buy you out at a fair price, minus legal fees and emotional damages. Refuse, and we go to court with everything I have. She looked at the papers like they were poisoned. You're really doing this? You started this the moment you decided my life was worth less than your freedom. She moved out 2 weeks later. Victor tried to contact me once, a weak attempt at intimidation. I forwarded the message to his soon-to-be ex-wife and HR at their company. He was fired within days. Rachel tried one final desperate move in September. She showed up at my new therapist's office, crying in the waiting room, begging me to give her another chance for the sake of our memories. I looked at her, the woman I had once loved more than anything, and felt nothing but pity. There are no memories worth saving anymore, Rachel. You killed them the day you laughed while I was dying. She left broken. By October, the divorce was moving forward smoothly. Kept the house. Kept the dogs. I started rebuilding my life quietly, going back to work part-time, seeing friends again, planting a garden in the backyard where the barbecue had been. One crisp autumn evening, I was sitting on the back porch with a coffee when I heard a car pull up. It was Rachel. She looked thinner, older, and completely defeated. No makeup, no designer clothes, just her and a small suitcase. She stood at the edge of the yard and spoke softly. I lost everything, Daniel. My job, my friends, my family barely speaks to me. Victor left me the moment things got hard. I have nothing left. I took a slow sip of coffee. You still have your life. That's more than you were willing to give me. She started crying again. Is there any chance, any small chance we could try again? I looked at her for a long moment. Then I gave her the only honest answer I had left. No, but I hope one day you become the kind of person who would never do to someone else what you did to me. I went inside and closed the door. That night, for the first time since the accident, I slept without any nightmares. The betrayal had been brutal. The revenge had been quiet, calculated, and complete. And the most unexpected twist of all? I didn't become bitter. I became free. The leaves had turned deep red and gold by the time the divorce was finalized in late November. I stood outside the courthouse in Toronto with Liam, watching Rachel walk down the steps with her lawyer. She looked smaller than I remembered, shoulders hunched, eyes red from crying, no makeup, wearing the same black coat she used to wear when we first started dating. She glanced at me once, our eyes meeting for a brief second, before she looked away and got into a taxi. No dramatic confrontation. No final tears or begging. Just silence. Liam clapped me on the shoulder. You did it clean, Daniel. Most people would have burned everything down. You protected yourself without becoming her. I nodded, but didn't say anything. The truth was, I didn't feel victorious. I felt empty. Like I had closed a chapter so heavy that even winning left bruises. Kept the house. I kept the dogs. Max and Luna still followed me everywhere like they knew I had almost disappeared from their lives. I kept my job, though I moved to a different department so I wouldn't have to hear whispers about the guy whose wife tried to kill him for insurance money. Life slowly started to feel normal again, but it was a different kind of normal. I went back to the gym. I started cooking real meals instead of eating takeout. I planted a small vegetable garden in the backyard where the barbecue had been. Every time I pulled weeds or watered the soil, I thought about how Rachel and Victor had stood in that same spot laughing about selling the house after I died. Some nights I still woke up at 3 a.m. with the sound of their voices in my head, Rachel's soft laugh, Victor's calm confidence as they planned my end. The trauma didn't vanish. It just became quieter. Then came the most unexpected twist of all. It was a cold Saturday morning in December when I received a message from an unknown number. It was from Victor's soon-to-be ex-wife, Elena. She asked if we could meet for coffee. No drama, she said. Just closure. I almost deleted the message. But something made me reply, okay. We met at a small cafe near the hospital where I had been treated. Elena was a quiet, elegant woman in her late 30s. She looked tired but composed. She didn't waste time. I'm sorry for what my husband did to you, she said. I didn't know the full extent until the recordings came out. I've filed for divorce and I'm taking him for everything he has, including the company shares. She slid an envelope across the table. These are copies of messages between Victor and Rachel that I found on his old laptop. Dates go back almost 2 years. I thought you should have them. For your own peace of mind. I opened the envelope. The messages were brutal. Victor had been sleeping with Rachel long before my accident. They had talked about what if something happened to Daniel as early as last summer. They had even discussed faking a separation so Rachel could move in with him while still collecting support from me. I read them in silence. When I looked up, Elena was watching me carefully. You're not the only one who was betrayed, she said softly. I thought I had a good marriage too. Turns out we were both living with ghosts. We talked for almost 2 hours. Not about revenge. Just about how it feels when the person you trusted most turns out to be a stranger. For the first time since the accident, I felt seen by someone who truly understood the depth of the betrayal. Before she left, Elena said one last thing. Don't let them take your future, Daniel. They already took enough. That conversation became a turning point. I stopped checking Rachel's social media, she had gone private and moved to a small apartment downtown. I stopped replaying the recordings. I started dating again, slowly, carefully. Nothing serious at first. Just coffee with a woman named Sarah who worked at the library near my house. She made me laugh without trying too hard. Spring came. The garden I planted bloomed beautifully. Lavender, tomatoes, basil, things Rachel had never liked because they made the yard look messy. I found myself smiling when I saw the first purple flowers open. One warm evening in May, almost exactly 14 months after the accident, I was sitting on the back porch with a glass of wine when my phone rang. It was Rachel. I almost didn't answer, but I did. Her voice was small, broken, nothing like the confident woman who had laughed in the hospital hallway. Daniel, I know I don't deserve to call you. I needed to say this. I'm sorry. I'm so fucking sorry. I was selfish and scared and I convinced myself you were holding me back. I became someone I don't even recognize. I lost everything. My family barely speaks to me. I lost my job. Victor left me the moment the scandal broke. I have nothing left except regret. She was crying now. Real, ugly crying. I know you'll never forgive me. I don't expect you to. I hope one day you can find peace. And I hope I can become someone who never hurts anyone like this again. I listened to her cry for a long moment. Then I said the only thing that felt true. I forgive you, Rachel. Not because you deserve it, but because I refuse to carry you with me anymore. Goodbye. I hung up. I didn't block her number, but she never called again. That night, I sat on the porch until the stars came out. Max and Luna lay at my feet. The lavender in the garden swayed gently in the breeze. For the first time since waking up in that hospital bed, I felt completely free. The betrayal had nearly destroyed me, but it hadn't. Instead, it had stripped away everything fake and left me with something stronger, clarity, boundaries, and the quiet knowledge that I could survive the worst kind of betrayal and still choose to build a good life. I raised my glass toward the dark garden and whispered, "Thank you for the pain. Thank you for the truth. Thank you for letting me become someone better." The wind carried the scent of lavender across the yard, and somewhere deep inside, I finally understood the most unexpected twist of all. Sometimes the person who tries to kill you ends up giving you the greatest gift of your life, the chance to be reborn. My name is Daniel Hayes. I am 35 years old. I survived a car crash. I survived betrayal. I survived the woman I once loved trying to bury me while I was still breathing. And today, I am living. Not just surviving, living. And that is the most beautiful revenge of all.